What up, PB Cashewville? It's your boy Cashew, and right beside me is. Oh, wait, PB is not here today. This is actually going to be a Cashew solo, and we are going to be talking about Cashew's five favorite cartoon Christmas specials. But before we get to that, right here is going to be our TikTok and Instagram. Go follow and also leave a like and subscribe. Hit it. What up, PB Cashewville? It's your boy Cashew, and like I said earlier, there's no PB. It's actually going to be me by myself. This is the first time doing this. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie because I never done a solo episode, and I don't know how good I'm going to do. I know PB does a great job when he does it, but so I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that's more about Christmas because we're close to Christmas. And I know PB wanted to do that, and I told him no because I actually want to do it by myself. I wanted to do a solo, and I'm like, what can I do for a solo? And I thought about it, and it's going to be Cashew's five favorite Christmas specials for like cartoons. And when I tell you that I had a great time, I watched like 15 Christmas specials, and I had a great time. And right here, there's going to be a list where you can see it. And like I said, it was kind of fun to watch, but it's going to be hard because most of them are really good, and it's hard to rank them. It's hard to say which was my favorite, which was not my favorite. But like I said, it was really fun. But before we get into that, there's just a couple things I'd like to talk about. And that is just like I can't wait till the New Year's. We have a lot planned for PB and Cashew. You know, we are doing a lot more and we're making more content. So hopefully you guys do like the stuff and hopefully everything goes well. So let's get right into it. I do have a couple honorable mentions, and my honorable mentions are going to be up here, but I'm going to talk about it. I have my phone with me because I had to write notes. It's the first time ever saying that I had to write notes. But for my first honorable mention, it's going to be Pokemon Holiday Hijinks. Not like this episode because it was really good. It was basically Jessie thinking that Jinx was Santa Claus and that Jinx stole her doll, but in reality Jinx didn't. Ash and Brock and Misty, they find this Jinx, and apparently the the Jinx is a Jinx is a Pokemon, by the way, and it's it is Santa Claus' Pokemon, and they have to go to the North Pole and find Santa and get back his Pokemon. But what I like about it was like I don't know, it's just I like Pokemon and I like the show, and when I was watching it, it was fun, it was funny, had some funny moments actually. It did. And another thing I like about it was just like, it shows you like you thought they I thought they would, I couldn't remember it because I did seen it, but I thought at first it had a meaning. The only meaning it had was sometimes forgive and forget, but I guess Jesse didn't learn that in the episode, and it was a good episode. The one thing is that this episode did got banned, so I'm talking about episode that got banned, but I watched it. It's fine for me. Let's see. I have another honorable mention. I have is it's the Fairy Odd Parents. I wish every day could be Christmas, or every day can be Christmas. Now, one thing I love about this one is, like I said, I wish I could put it in my top five, but it's not going to be in my top five. But one thing I like about this episode was that Timmy was happy that it was Christmas because if you ever watch the Fair Odd Parents, you know that Timmy's mom and dad lets have he has a babysitter, and the babysitter is Vicky, and he doesn't like Vicky. Not like that, he's a 10-year-old who doesn't like school, which a lot of us, like even kids, could relate. Like even when I was a kid, I could relate. I didn't want to go to school. I just wanted to stay home, and he wished every day could be Christmas because he wanted that to happen. He wanted to stay with his parents, which most of the time he doesn't be with his parents. And it was a good episode. And then what happened was, it was like 12 days or 13 days of Christmas, and next thing you know, like the other holidays like Easter, Baby New Year, April Fools, they were just upset. They were mad at him, and they were like, "Oh, it's your fault that because it's Christmas. We don't have the joy, and what they wanted to do was actually kill Santa. I'm just like, bro, what? They were so jealous of Santa they wanted to hurt him, make sure he never comes back. And I'm just like, yo, you're crazy. But at the end, one thing I liked about the show was most of these holiday specials. It's more about learning to give and not. It's more learning to give and sharing. And this one, to me, had to learn how, as much as I love it being Christmas, it's not a good thing. That's the one thing I really did like about that. Another honorable mention is the Flintstone Christmas, uh, Christmas Flintstones. I think it's called, or Flintstones Christmas. I can remember the name. I don't know if I should switch it up. And one thing I like about this episode was that it was Fred Flintstone who was upset because he didn't have enough money to get presents, and he wanted to give presents to his family. So he got another job, and he got a job to get him more money. It was a good episode. It had a good meaning. After that, he also he made a little bit more money. But then, like, Santa Claus actually got sick, and Santa wanted him to take over for him, and he did that. And it was, like I said, it was a great episode. Fun, funny. There was a couple funny scenes to it, and it was just great. I love, like I said, I love watching some holiday specials, and Fred Flintstone, the Flintstones Christmas one was really good too. And then the last honorable mention, the last honorable mention is the Looney Tunes shows, A Christmas Carol. Now, the Looney Tunes shows, it's kind of like a newer one. It came out in 2011, I believe, or 2012. So I've seen a little bit of it, but that was when I was like a teenager. So I decided to rewatch like the show, and the show is pretty good. But the Christmas Carol episode was really, really good. It had a good meaning. So basically, what happened was they were in I don't know what town they have it called, but they're in their own town and their own city, and it's 100. It's supposed to be Christmas Eve, and it's like 100 degrees, and so they saying Christmas is gonna be canceled. Well, Foghorn disagrees, and what he wants to do is plant or yeah, put a fan in the North Pole. Daffy Duck goes with him. While that's happening, Lola Bunny wants to like bring the Christmas spirit by doing a Christmas Carol. And instead of doing the real Christmas Carol with like Scrooge, she makes her own. And but it had a good meaning to it, and the meaning is like you could always have the Christmas spirit. Like I said, most of these are gonna have meanings. And like the honorable mentions, I didn't really get into date into it because my top five is what I'm gonna go really deep into. And so we are actually in the top five. So number five is Johnny Bravo, a Johnny Bravo Christmas. Now, one thing I love about this was this made me laugh so hard. Like this episode was funny. It also had a good meaning, but it was so hilarious. Like there were parts where Johnny like Johnny just didn't care. Like there was this guy who just got his license to drive to fly a plane, and the guy showed him that he's like, I got cookies, and Johnny's like, okay, you're in, and he's like eating the cookies, and then the girl is trying to talk to him, like the little girl is trying to talk to him, and he just is trying to get the cookies. Like the episode was so funny, and what made it more funny was like it was the animal scenes where Johnny is like all distracted because they're like a circus animals, and Johnny's all distracted, like, and next thing you know, he realized the animals are like gone, like they're out of their cage because Susie, I think her name was Susie. Susie released him out the cage, and he goes, "Go back into the cage, you stupid animals!" And next thing you know, one of them opened the cargo doors, and they fell, and the elephant fell on top of John. Like I said, this episode was so funny. It had so much funny moments, and I think the meaning you get, or the one thing I learned is like his mom, all she cares about was his happiness, and Johnny's like he has to be like I think he's like a teenager or he's a young adult, and all she cares about is him being happy. And at first he didn't know about that until he actually like read the letter when he was at the North Pole. He read the letter and he realized that his mom cared about him, and then it changed his heart. It made him ask Santa to give his mom happiness. And his mom said that the only thing that makes her happy is him, is her son. So that's a good thing. The next one is a it's What's New Scooby Doo, a Scooby Doo Christmas. I do have a Scooby Doo shirt. You can't really see it. So here's the funny thing. I was gonna look for my Nickelodeon shirt, but I couldn't find it. So I'm like, I want to look through. I wanted to have something like if I'm talking about it. So like, for example, Pokemon. I've talked about that. Scooby Doo. Talking about that. And one thing I love about this episode, and this is me being honest, like what I love about it was like it was fun and it's obviously a mystery. Like it's Scooby Doo's always fun to me when I watch it. You know, it's a mystery. It's a basically like a mystery gang trying to solve mysteries, and they were literally trying to solve this mystery of the headless snowman or the snowman headless, whatever they call it. And you know, they find out who it was. You know, and at the end of the day, one thing I learned about this one, I'm not gonna go too deep into this one because my brain kind of got fried with it. I'm not gonna lie, and it's I forgot to tell you I'm doing this on Wednesday morning, like late Wednesday morning, because we're gonna be busy on Saturday. So I decided to do a solo early and record it early. But one thing is the I lost my train of thought. One more. One thing was that the man the point or the meaning was forgive and forget because the bad guy who was destroying the chimneys and all that stuff, um, there was a kid. I think his name was Tommy or Timmy. He said, "Can we just forgive him?" I'm just like, I guess that makes sense in a way because it's Christmas, but at the same time, like he was destroying your chimneys and you guys don't have a house to go to. But that's the one thing. Now this is a toss up because three could be two, and then two can also be three. And I was really debating on this one because I already know what my number one is. But this was a tough one because both of them had good meanings, but only one probably the one of them's gonna edge probably a lot more because of a song. But so the third one is Hey Arnold, Arnold's Christmas. I think that's what it's called, right? Yeah, Arnold's Christmas. Now this one when I say had a great Christmas or a great meaning to the episode, it had a great one. Basically, what happened was Helga. I'm going to try to explain this one a lot. Helga, all she cares about is getting presents. All she cares about is herself. All she cares about is herself. Arnold is a person that wants to help people and he wants to give and share, instead of receiving. So Arnold I think it was a secret Santa in his household, and I think the guy's name is Mr. Hugh. And so Arnold wanted to find out what would be a good gift for him. So Arnold went to talk to him. Well, Arnold finds out that he used to live in another country, and in that country they had a war. And since he had a daughter, and his daughter name was Maya, and she was a baby. And during that war, he wanted to flee his country and go to a different country. Well, it turns out he couldn't do that, and he was in a line where there was a helicopter and there was a couple army people, and he was in line, and they couldn't take anybody. So what he did was he put his daughter up high so they could take him or take her, and they did. And they named the name of the city that she was going to be at, and he finally goes to he's been there, but it's been 20 years. So he's been trying to look for his daughter for 20 years. And that was when Arnold says that will be the greatest Christmas present of all is to help him find his daughter. Well, he goes to I want to say it's a government or federal government place where it gives you information about where someone lives and where they're at. And the guy, when I say the guy was he was so rude, he was rude. But when Arnold and Gerald asked, he was like at first saying no, and then Arnold wanted to make a deal, and the deal was basically if I could get dude, it was Christmas Eve. If I could get your presents for you, can you help me find this person? And he said, deal. he said get everything on the list. They got everything on the list except for one thing, and it was like it was snow boots, some type of snow boots. And so Helga, she likes Arnold, and Helga wanted to make Arnold have an give him a good present, so because she wanted him to fall in love with him, and she found out what it was that he needed, and she was like trying to figure out why he Arnold had a heart for that, but she also wanted those snow boots, and her parents actually got her the snow boots. And then like she was like, why does it have to happen to me where I could keep the snow boots or I could give the snow boots to Arnold so that guy can help him. The guy can help Arnold find the daughter. So Helga does the right thing, and the right thing was she took the snow boots, gave it to the guy, and the guy helped Helga find Mr. Q's daughter, and they finally meet each other. One thing I love about that, it was like the meaning was it's to give and to share, and the fact that Arnold did a lot just to try to help him find his daughter is what's incredible. And I just that's why I said it was so hard to choose because the second one is SpongeBob SquarePants Christmas Who. Now I love this episode too. This episode, let's just say, the reason why it edges a little bit is because of the song, the very first Christmas to me. That song, just in general, I just love that song. Like I have in my Christmas play. I have a Christmas playlist on Spotify, and it's in my Christmas playlist, and I will jam into it. Like I will go into that song. But what also thing I love about it too is that, like I said, it had a meaning too. Now Squidward, we all know who Squidward is if we watch SpongeBob SquarePants. And Squidward is the person that he doesn't want he doesn't like people, and he just wants to get away from people. He just he hates people, or he just hate fishes. I guess you could say, whatever. If to them they probably think it's people, to us it's fishes. But anyways, and he just don't like people in Bikini Bottom, and he's just always miserable, and he's always upset. He's always mad and angry. So in this episode, he's like the Grouch. You guys should call him Mr. Scrooge, where he just doesn't care. He thinks that SpongeBob's crazy and how SpongeBob, Santa's not real and all that stuff. And SpongeBob is trying to get everybody from Bikini Bottom to realize, no, Santa is real. Well, there's, after the song, very first Christmas, people find out, like, you know, Santa hasn't showed up, and they stayed up all night singing Santa's coming tonight. And they left them. Squidward wakes up, and this scene always gets to me. Squidward wakes up, and he starts just making fun of, and I mean making fun of SpongeBob. And when I tell you this made me so upset, he was making fun of SpongeBob, and then they put like a donkey, like and what what was crazy was like SpongeBob made him a gift, and then like it was a clarinet made out of wood, and he was just like, when Squidward realized like, oh, he made a mistake, he was a jerk. He changed his heart, and he decided to be Santa Claus. And next thing you know, I don't know where he made SpongeBob's day, but he also made everybody else from Bikini Bottom's day. And it was like I said, I love that episode. The meaning is like, Squidward's a grouch, and he's like, but the meaning is like, it shows you like even the people that you are not expecting to have like a Christmas spirit can always have a Christmas spirit and have a good heart. Now the last one, like I said, this is my favorite of all time, and I might be biased about it, but it's Danny Phantom, The Fright Before Christmas. I love Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom is my favorite. I mean, my favorite cartoon of all time. You can argue with me, debate about me with that. It's just my favorite episode. It's like my favorite cartoon show of all time. What I love about this episode is, like I said, it has a meaning. Same thing. Like Danny, he hated Christmas, and the reason why he hated Christmas is because his parents mostly argue about if Santa's real or not. And Dad will always say yes he is, and Mom will be like no he's not, and it ruins his Christmas. So he's always been a grouch, and he never cared about Christmas, and all he hates Christmas. Well, he decides, to get away from all that. He goes to the ghost zone. He was destroying some Christmas like decorations. And there's this guy. His name's there's a ghost. His name is a ghost writer, and he made a book called The Fright Before Christmas. And Danny destroys it, and he gets upset. And Danny doesn't care that he destroys it, so the ghost writer wanted to teach him a lesson. And basically, what he did was made a new one and have Danny in it. And Danny had to learn the true meaning of Christmas, which he really does find out. But another thing I like about this episode is because if you ever watch Danny Phantom, you know how Danny Phantom has a lot of enemies, ghost enemies. But they have a truce during Christmas, and I think that's so cool that they have a truce that they don't fight each other. And the Ghost Rider forgot about that, and like I said, it's a good episode. Like all the episodes I've seen, and I'm gonna put them back up there on there. All the episodes I see, like I saw Jimmy Neutron, I also saw the Smurfs, I saw the Simpsons. Like all these episodes that I saw for the Christmas specials, they're really great, and it's fun to watch. I love watching like specials, like even Halloween specials when they have it. I like watching those type of things. It's just fun. It's cool to me, and I think that if you get a chance just to watch it, and like I said, like you don't have I know what the true meaning of Christmas is. I know the real story of Christmas, why we celebrate Christmas. But at the end of the day, it's not. It's just fun to like watch these episodes and just see how cool it is, and just see all these because there's more. Like when I mean there's more special episodes out there, like Christmas specials that I could have talked about that I didn't watch. Like I forgot to watch. It could be a long list. But I wanted to do five of my favorites. I do hope you enjoy this episode. And like we always say in PB and Cashewville, we don't know you, but we love you, and there's a God above that does. I'm Cashew. Peace out, PB Cashewville.